What's going on YouTube? Johnny here, back with another video for you guys. As always, hope everyone's been doing well. And I know it's been a little bit since posting a video here on the channel, so I'm coming back with a great video. Tonight, we're making filet, bacon mac and cheese, as well as some cream spinach. Let's get into it. Alright, so we have a countertop spread of tonight's meal. So first and foremost, so we have some filet, and then cameraman was feeling some ribeye steak tonight as well. So we have a little bit of both. So that's that. And one thing that I really love is a good steak and sides to go with it. So I'm looking forward to this meal. So for the steaks, for the seasoning, we have pepper, salt, we have onion and garlic powder. Well, I said onion first, garlic powder. There's that. And then moving that out of the way, working to this side of the counter, we have our cavatappi noodles. And this will be, or pasta, this will be for the mac and cheese. And you can use any pasta. I love this one because with the curls and just the twists, it really absorbs the sauce of the mac and cheese, and the cheese just really absorbs into it. So that's why I really enjoy that. We have our bacon to go with the mac and cheese as well. We have our cream. We have our Gouda and then white cheddar cheese. Same thing in this bowl, except this will go into the mac and cheese when we're baking it, and then this will be for our nice little garnish on the top. And then for the mac and cheese portion still, we have butter, we have paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper, flour. But wait, the list still goes on. For the spinach now, for the cream spinach, we have our whole leaf spinach right here. We have our cream and half in this bowl, butter, salt, pepper, onion, garlic, and then we have our grated Parmesan right here. So that is the entire spread of tonight's feast or tonight's meal. So we'll go ahead and get started on the mac and cheese, and I'll see you then. All right, so I moved the pasta to a bowl, and I sprayed cooking spray in there because we'll put this into the oven. So then first, we'll just melt the butter and get started on that. So now that the butter's melted, what we'll do is add the flour to it. And you want to be really careful. You want to make sure that you whisk everything so that way you avoid creating lumps. And now for an even more important part, you want to slowly add the cream, but whisk really heavily and make sure that you get everything, because if not, it'll clump up and form a lot of the lumps. So you just want to stir, add, and I'm making a mess, but that's all right. I'll focus on this and I'll finish that up and see you in the next bit. So this is what we're looking like. I call that a mission success because there's no clumps, thankfully. So then what we'll do is just let that come to a slight boil while stirring occasionally. Alrighty, so as you can see, we're at a slight boil. So then what I'll do now is add the seasoning, stir that around, and then now what we'll do is add the cheese. And then we'll just slowly stir that around and work that in until it's all melted out or melted down, and then we'll pour that over the noodles, or the pasta, which is off to the right. So I'll just go ahead and continue to that's right, it's the angles. I'll go ahead and continue to work on this, and then I'll see you then. So then now what we'll do is we'll just pour out the cheese like that. All right, and then we'll just mix that around. Make sure we get a nice spread of the cheese across all of the pasta. And then what we'll also do is take about half of the bacon and we'll sprinkle that within. Same thing with a little bit of the cheese. Just a little bit though, not too much for the cheese. But more bacon? All right, I got the order from the cameraman that she wants more bacon with it. So there's that. What do you think? That's good? Okay. Cameraman has a big smile on her face, so that's good. So then we'll just mix that around. All right, so then now what we'll do is garnish that with the remainder of the bacon. Give it a little sprinkle. And bacon's good, so gotta make sure that we include those. Can't leave any bacon behind, otherwise cameraman's gonna yell at me. And then now, what we'll do is sprinkle the last little bit of cheese on top as well. And now we have the oven set at 350. And important part, you wanna leave it uncovered. And that'll be about maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Just keep an eye on it and it'll be nice and bubbly when it's ready. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start on the grill and see you then. So while I wait for the charcoal to heat up for the grill, I'm gonna start on the spinach. So first we'll drop the butter in and we'll wait for that to melt, and then we'll go ahead and add the onion in once that butter is melted. Now we'll add in the onion and we'll just stir that until it softens. And now we'll just add the garlic and stir that around for about a minute or so. And here we'll add the cream in half and half. Give that a little stir. And then we'll also add the seasoning. And again, in this one is nutmeg, salt, and pepper. And then we'll stir that around. And don't worry, I'll be the one to clean that up. What I'll do is just season both sides with salt, pepper, onion, and garlic powder. Alright, so I'm gonna do the fillets first, since they'll take longer. So I'll do 5 minutes of indirect heat, and then later towards, since the ribeye won't take as long, I'll add that. So I'm gonna do 5 minutes each side indirect, and then I'll do 2 minutes aside direct for the fillets. All right, now we're back on the spinach, taking a break from the steaks for a little bit, but we'll add the shredded Parmesan, and then we'll just stir that around and let that mix into the sauce for the cream spinach, and then we can add the spinach in once that's ready to go. So this is good to go, so what I'll do is just hand drop the spinach in there, and that way I avoid creating a mess, just in case. And then what we'll do is just stir the spinach around and get that incorporated with the sauce. And then we'll just let that continue to do its thing and cook together. We have it on a very low heat, so that way we don't burn the spinach or the cream sauce either. And one of my favorite parts about cooking is the taste test. Alrighty, so it's been a total of 10 minutes. Each side indirect, so now I'll do 2 minutes aside direct, and then I'll also add cameraman steak, and I'll just do the same thing with cameraman steak of indirect and then direct. So yeah, let that do its thing. And a helpful hint for if you make this cream spinach, if you want your sauce to be thinner, you can always add more cream in and then just stir that around. Alright, so the fillets are pretty much done. So there we go. So I'll take that off. And then what I'll do is, even though it's only been 2 minutes aside indirect for cameraman steak, I'll just add that to direct, and then it'll quickly cook up from there. So probably about maybe a minute and a half aside, we'll see. Okay, so the steaks are done, spinach is done. So then now what we'll do is take out the mac and cheese. And as you can see at the top, it gets a little bit greasy. And that's, yeah, it's totally normal. That's just from the cream, the butter, and then some of the fat or the cheese, just some of the cheese melting and releasing some of the fats. So then what we'll do, we'll just blot that, because cameraman and I are the same. We don't like it super, super greasy or rich or anything like that. So we'll just blot that, and then I'll make my plate. And that's that. Cameraman's happy, I'm happy, looking forward to eating. Alright guys, and that concludes today's video. As always, thank you so much for stopping by, tuning in, and supporting me in the channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you don't miss when I upload here on this channel. And as I said earlier in the video, I love a good steak with a lot of good sides, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. And it's a great meal for if you're having a cookout with friends, family, or even if you're having a solo meal. So let me know down in the comments below if you give this a try. But with that being said, have a great rest of the weekend. Have a great upcoming week. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.